Hi, I'm Emmy Victor, and this is Energizing the Economy. With the impact that COVID-19 has had on the economy, much of today's political debate focuses on how to create more jobs. Natural gas and oil companies are being aggressive, exploring new energy solutions in North America, leading to thousands of new union jobs right here at home. To discuss how unions are training their members to meet growing workforce needs is Lynn Coleman, director of the Michigan Laborers Training and Apprenticeship Institute. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. Glad to be here.
6 months into this national pandemic, and millions remain unemployed or displaced by coronavirus-related lockdowns. How have your members and the numerous industry supply chains in which you work in been affected?
We've actually done pretty well through this. Our members work in such a diverse construction industry that while we did have some layoffs, for the most part, we were able to work through the shutdown here in Michigan, which started in mid-March and has continued into June in some aspects. So compared to some of the other industries, we didn't feel the hit. We were considered more of an essential workforce, especially when you look at the energy and transportation industries. Besides the transportation and energy industries, we work on pipeline infrastructure, asbestos abatement, demolition, commercial and industrial construction for new buildings. So a lot of ours is definitely considered essential. And we had, we had some that did feel the impact and lost some work hours. All in all, we're back to work and we're nearly at full capacity across the state. So.
How would you say the pandemic's disruption of the supply chain shifted the importance of American-made energy and products? How do you think supply chains will adjust in the future? And how will that affect the need for more skilled labor? For example, would you say the current pandemic underscores the need to procure more energy in the U.S. rather than relying on foreign sources?
Absolutely. The U.S. definitely needs more energy sources here at home. We can't be held hostage by foreign supply chains when it comes to energy needs. I think we've seen that through this pandemic a little more than maybe some of us expected. Just with the respiratory equipment, things like that for first responders and healthcare professionals, things like that across the U.S. with the pandemic, they were unable to get enough surgical masks and everything to do with that. I think we all could see that. We could all feel that. We have a great need here in America to increase our own existence in the energy fields, whether that be, with oil or natural gas, LP, nuclear, anything we can do to supply ourselves better, I think is a good way to look at it. The American Society of Civil Engineers awarded the U.S. energy infrastructure a D+. That is very disappointing for someone that works in or closely with the energy sector in the U.S. We've got unions out there, the North American Building Trades, Labor's International Union of North America is part of that. We work very hard at helping to advocate and developing, upgrading local energy infrastructure. So to us, that hits home, very, very sincere with our communities and energy that they need to survive. We've got to do them better. And I think that starts at all local governments as well as the national government.
Back in July, presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden unveiled his proposal on energy and climate policy. What can candidate Biden do to ensure that labor jobs are protected in America's oil and gas sector? How does a diverse energy mix provide job security for your trainees?
We definitely need good leadership in all levels of government. So starting here at the county level to the state level to the federal level, that supports development of domestic energy resources. If we don't have that, we're going to see in future years that we're going to suffer more on energy crisis wise, anyways, or standards. But they also need to upgrade those standards to allow jobs like the Line 5 tunnel here by Enbridge in the state of Michigan. LIUNA is an all-in, all of the above type of energy union. We work in all the energy sectors. So while we do this, our members currently work in nuclear, gas, oil, wind, geothermal, you name it, they have their hands in it. We would love to find new energy sources and new avenues to expand work opportunity for our members and their families. So anything we can do to help put some bread on their table is a win for us.
In addition to generally higher wages for your members, what are some of the other quality of life factors that you find with traditional energy jobs, like safety and pension benefits?
The healthcare for me is kind of a top of the list item. We have so many people across the U.S. that have healthcare, but it may be insufficient healthcare. I've always been a believer in providing the best for my family that I can. I've been pretty fortunate to do that, and I believe there's a lot of other people that need the health care that our union members in LiUNA receive. With our health care, for instance, here in Michigan, a family is going to have a maximum in-network cost of $1,200 out of pocket for services. They also have on top of that, they're going to have an RX program that's going to help save them money on prescriptions. Typically, if they're able to get a generic type drug, for instance, they're going to have a maximum out-of-pocket cost of $20 on a prescription, where we know some of these prescription costs have gone out of sight and put it out of reach for many people. Our members, fortunately, are able to deal with that through our health programs. Our pension programs are second to none in the country, as well as the North American building trades have, all of those unions have phenomenal benefits, health-wise and pension for their members. Here in Michigan, one of our members can retire with 30 years of service. So if he gets in at 18 years of age, he can retire as early as the age of 48 with full retirement benefits. That's quite young. That's someone that's going to get to enjoy that pension when they retire. And then on the training end of it, the member, as he works in the field, the contractor pays in on a collective bargaining agreement. And with that agreement, it also contains training contributions. So those contributions are paid in on that member's behalf for the hours that he's worked in the field, he or she has worked in the field. And what that means to them is when they come to training, there's no out-of-pocket cost. And just give you an example of what one 40-hour class of training could cost someone for an asbestos supervisor program, it can be easily in excess of $600 for that one 40-hour training. Our members can come back and go through over 70 different programs that we offer here at no out-of-pocket cost to their family.
What about the natural gas when it comes to the pipeline industry? In recent years, Michigan's Line 5 pipeline has been in the news. And what could a pipeline like Line 5 offer Michigan's labor force, the state's energy consumers, and the economy?
Well, the Michigan members and their families here have benefited for years already, as well as the residents of Michigan, from the different energy companies that have been upgrading their transmission pipelines or their distribution lines throughout some of the municipalities here in Michigan. This work assists, and even though they may not see it up front, assists the small communities, the businesses in a local area, and helps to thrive that community while that work is going on, especially on a new pipeline or a reconstruction, say like Line 5 would be, where they would go through and large stretches would be brand new construction to be tied in at a later date. To give you an example of some of this, it improves wages in the area, taxes that help support the local economy and the townships and the counties here in Michigan. Those are all things that a lot of people don't think of when they don't want a pipeline run through their backyard, or they don't want a coal plant built in their community. And we understand that, but you have to look at it this way. Line 5 pipeline was built in 1953 by Bechtel Corporation. It stood the test of time in a very, very hard environment. It's time to upgrade that pipeline. So it's been there this many years without a major problem in the Straits of Mackinac, and that is a very, very touchy ecological area. The one thing that we need to keep the propane and the LP gas or anything else flowing through that they run through that line from time to time, flowing through Michigan for years to come. It's way past time that we build the new Line 5.
We really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And thank you for joining us for our series, Energizing the Economy.